All right, here's my recording for my market recap for May 24th. And got my replay up here. Let me go to this higher time frame first. And see in this, maybe that's not the best thing to be looking at. That's a footprint chart. Let's see, I was using candlesticks. Everybody's familiar with that. I guess I can use this to look at, because the line isn't going to show up very well in this video. But there's our 630. That's our overnight VPOC. 4134.75. We opened at 4140, which is which I have that as a McVPOC of this whole consolidation, this cluster we had here. And I drew this purple line for that, 4140. And so we opened there and we dropped into this area that turned out to be a support area, and I was doubting it at the time as I reviewed my live stream from this morning. And I wasn't entirely, I had a somewhat, this is just a ballpark idea, and I got taken out on 3 trades, and that just did not end up well for me. It's because of FOMO. It's I felt like I had to do something. I feel like I'm under pressure to produce content every day, and I just wasn't patient with trying to wait it out for the proper setup. And I'm still having doubts on what is the proper setup. I had a good discussion in the traders lab with some people. I vented a little bit, and it's just very frustrating trying to find the proper setup and what does it consist of. Can I make a checklist? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it checking all of this? And then it's like I have to I have to make sure all this stuff is here and it qualifies, and I have maybe at most 1 or 2 seconds to click the button and do it. And I'm trying to make it as consistent as possible. Here's all your things lined up like a checklist, and I have to be able to recognize that instantly and go for it. But it has to be as close to almost identical with the process each time. And I have doubts on how am I gathering my statistics. Is anything correct about that? And I tried to type it, and Tom gave me some good input in the chat there, and I'm too concerned with trying to execute it mechanically, and it's more subjective. And I'm really supposed to be looking here at the session volume profile here, looking for outer edges, around where the IB is. So this supersedes where that particular line where the IB is. So in this case, I'd be looking at I have to mark it on the chart because it won't save it, unfortunately. Here's 4117.75. I'm going to do this here to illustrate this stuff. I suppose I should have prepared it before the video so I'm not wasting time doing this on the video. I'll have to, I'm still trying to improve my abilities with the video. 4140.50. No, 4140. No, damn it. Okay, that's IB high. Where's the overnight levels? Four 222.75. Is that correct? No, I'm looking at the wrong day. Four 4166, 4166, 4166. Enable here, overnight high. We never got anywhere remotely close to that. It's our overnight low. So 630. Close the low, 4136.50. And that's our overnight low. Ah, sorry, I should have had this. What the hell? Come on. Click the damn thing. Yeah, see, this is an error I'm making with putting the video together. Why won't this thing let me click here? What the hell? Okay, low 4136.50. 4136.50. That's your overnight low. So kind of the flawed approach I came up with. See, we have this, and that appeared to be a support area where, you know, you've got that. You've got that. That's kind of a support. You have this coming down and testing again. You have these, you know, everybody's seen this before. It's basic technical analysis stuff. You see how I draw these rectangles. I don't need to really explain that. Everybody's that would even be watching this, they've seen all of that stuff. So, and I explained 4140. And I saw this as, you know, this is potential support. But at the time I engaged with these really dumb trades that didn't work, you know, I just kept getting slapped. You know, just loss after loss. I think one of them I scaled and everything else I lost. And partly because I just, you know, I'm focusing on the line too much. I went long here, I got, see, long here, taken out here. Don't know what I was thinking here. This was dumb. This was just dumb. This is in my live stream. At the time, it seemed to make sense. This was, you know, going into this box at the time. See, that's 4121.25. So this had started to go in the box. I figured, okay, it touched the box, gonna go long. By the time I clicked, you know, it was late entry on something that was wrong anyway. Or not totally wrong, because later it did turn around. So I had kind of, you know, it's like one of those big container ships that's 1,400 feet long trying to turn around. You know, it takes like 2 miles to turn one of those around. It's got like a turning radius of 2 miles or something. It's like 1 or 2 miles. I think I saw that before on some YouTube documentary about container ships. Anyway, they're massive. Takes a very long time to turn around. So you can't, you have no idea if it's, you know, this is garbage. This is not a structured trade. And you know, I was going off a box instead of a structured trade, you know, and was this telling me this is in a high volume area? Probably a bad idea to engage right there. I mean, this was a short. You know, what was the trend at the time? It was short. So the whole thing of, you know, drawing this box as support got me on the wrong way. And, you know, you have, so this, I mean, you can discuss this as a short. It's not a good idea. You can narrate it out. And, you know, here, I mean, this also could have made sense based on that box as potentially a long. And that did not work out at all. You know, you have a big stop run of 500, you come back up here, it's testing that, it's coming back down here and testing. Looks like you had some liquidity fill here and here. Look, the buyers are exhausting here. And you kind of have a book flip here. This is potentially a long for an IBF, but then the context isn't there. So that is not, that did not seem like an appropriate deployment of an IBF. Now you have this VHVN here, which I forgot to mark. So that would be one of your targets. You have this structure in the way, and the context as at this time is telling me, from what I saw at the time, that you know, it seemed like okay, maybe we have a IBC going on. So this whole thing, I'm in question of, is this a proper deployment of an IBF? And you know, I'm just tired. Just my health problems. I feel like crap all the time. I tire very easily. I'm trying to get that situation under control. I don't want to ramble on about it. You know, so there's exhaustion there, and this, and you know, this could be a point where you're going, okay, this is testing this outside edge again, but it's not really that much of an outside edge. So this is kind of telling me, okay, maybe that's the right one, but then the context did not seem right because it was just down, 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 down with the VPOC. So that just, what else do I have here? Okay, these are all kind of the same picture. Oh, that's going into yesterday. So where am I looking at this point? Oh, this was earlier. This was before these 4 other pictures. So Just I thought that was a tricky one because when we look here, this is where there was a lot of support going on, and then it did come back up. It went back up above the open, and now and then it tested back down after hours. We ended the day going up, so this was a turnaround point, but there's a lot of back and forth stuff going on, and it was pretty dirty. So here's your market close, and it ended. Where did it close? It ended right where it opened. Oh, a slight 1.5 points above where it opened. So, but we see here, this VPOC never shifted again after it went from, I'm Pacific time, so this is from 8 until 1300. So this started to turn into a mean reversion type of deal. So it's tough to read the context, so is this a proper scenario to do an IBF at? It's hard for me to tell, and I try to think of IBFs mechanically, and that is not working out so well for me, and that's what Tom's telling me is not the right way to think about it. It's saying, this participant behavior in the auction, where I'm looking at this profile, this is the chassis, and this supersedes whatever this line is doing. That's just a line we're drawing where the price was at the first hour high and low. And, so I'm just, I'm not staying in tune with this. I might rearrange these on my chart so that the SVP, maybe I would put it on this side. I don't know, so I can try to have a better idea what's going on. See, this got more volatile towards the end, and the book also cleared up. Looks like you have less of a book going on, less resting liquidity like we saw down here. And that's the low of the day. And so, I mean, we started off, here's around 6:30. So it was down, 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 down. This flickered up a little for a tiny insignificant moment. Or maybe it is significant. I need to start posting more screenshots. I'm doing these videos because I can go back and watch what I'm thinking and try to figure my way through it. I mean, you see at the very bottom of the day here, some would call that a double bottom right here. Liquidity fill, testing. And this is right near this outside edge here. You see where the line is near those dots. See, we're on an outside edge. See how it comes here. It's another test of an outside edge. And so, I mean, it's incredibly difficult to see it when it's happening in real time. This could be a trigger for an IBF. I suppose. When I was watching it in real time, it didn't make any sense. around this time of day, 10 a.m., I'm just my ability to focus and retain information and perform well. I'm toast at that point. I'm trying to do my moderator stuff in the Bookmap Discord. I'm trying to focus on trading. I've already watched Tom's stream at this point. So kind of by the time Tom's stream is over, I'm kind of run out of gas, mentally, I've run out of gas at that point, and I'm just trying to finish the day out doing my moderator stuff and whatever I can with charts and all that. And I really get worn out. And so I have to really put all the effort into 6:30 to 10 a.m. Those 3.5 hours, or I guess from 6. Really, I start putting everything together around 5:30 to 6. I might still be eating my breakfast around 5:45 or something. I sit at my computer, I have breakfast and coffee, and I'm trying to mark down all of my locations and things, make sure I have my different locations marked down and all that. And well, I have those things to consider. We went over. I mean, we have another potential for an IBF here. Look at, you have two targets. And this, I mean, it's so close to the IB low, where that's almost telling me, hey, this is more likely to go down. But then the higher time frames tell me, look at this whole thing. It's sitting on top of an old area that used to be resistance. So I'm just doing support and resistance rectangle boxes here. And this ended up being where it turned around. And we start to have this, there's your value area low here, 1725. I can go right here and look at that. There's 1725. And see, this is just bouncing off of it. And then right before the end, you had a chance for another IBF. So you have double IBF. That's a structured trade that Tom has in his PDF, Trader's Lab. And you have a chance here for another IBF. I don't see how I would, if I did do that, I wouldn't have been able to see that. I might have gotten in somewhere here, and then my targets would be somewhere roughly in here. If I see it keep going like that, if this liquidity would have been there at the time, so that might have been where, within, it's a pretty broad range, about 5 points or so. It would have been somewhere within here. That's has nothing to do with what I do, but I think 4130 is a strike price. So some kind of options activity, but it just blew through it. There's your overnight low. That could have been another target. I don't know. I was just not, I was starting to get pretty tired and a little drowsy at that point around when this whole thing happened. I was just had a lot of emotions going on, and I just just like, you know what, I'm not going to trade right now. I'm just going to try to study. I was reading a little more in Best Loser Wins, and that's a great book. Watched a YouTube video where somebody's picked out what they thought were the best passages in the book, and parts of the book I haven't read yet, but there's a nice little recap video of what they read in the book. And I definitely have some psychological stuff going on. My relationship with money, how scarce it's been my whole life. I have a scarcity survival mindset with money, like a lot of people do. I think that's pretty common. I'm sure most of us have struggled with trying to make ends meet, especially in this economy, because I've been, I'm part of that generation. We had the dot-com crash, 9/11. We had the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. We had the Great Recession. We've had COVID and all this stuff happening right now. And, the collapse of our currency over those 20 years, 20 plus years. And, so I've always struggled with trying to find any meaningful work that's stable, especially where I live in Las Vegas. It's not, there's a lot of contract and temp work. It's hard to find permanent positions with places, and there's a lot of shady operations running here. So that I have that scarcity mindset, So that triggers my fight and flight responses, my nervous system, and all those chemicals going on in your brain with fear and pain of loss. And I really take it out hard on myself, put myself down when I'm wrong. But something Tom was saying was, he just considers every trade as, I'm probably going to stop out and then let go of it. Those emotions are there, but he found a way to not let the emotions override his plan. You just execute the plan, you're going to have the emotions, it's going to be painful. But I guess you desensitize yourself to that over time. And you have those statistics saying, hey, over many, many trades, hundreds or thousands of trades, tens of thousands in a whole career, that you're making money in the long run, a sufficient amount to justify it. And that's going to take some time to be like, you could be making money trading, but is it enough to justify it over just, learning a trade, getting a degree, taking some more conventional job, or something besides trading? Can you justify it and say, this is meaningful enough here? That it's worth it financially versus just doing something else. It's going to be more consistent. So I don't know the answers to that, but it's getting late. I really got to go to sleep now. Get my whole routine going on with that. I've struggled most of my life with trying to sleep, so I got to get going. So I'm going to post this the Bookmap Discord, and good night, everyone.